صباح الخير يا شباب. This is not considered as the first lecture. However, we already covered the first, second, and third chapters in the before this vacation. Chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. Okay, before I start chapter 5, I'm going to make a very quick review for the first 3 chapters. Chapter 1 actually talking about the definitions of management, definition of organization, definition of efficiency, effectiveness. Okay, just to refresh your memory, we define management as the how we can use a valuable resource to achieve or accomplish the organization goals. To define efficiency, for example, how to get the job done at the lowest cost. For the effectiveness, just how to achieve the organization goals. The difference between effectiveness and efficiency, as I mentioned before, how cost is going to pay, or how much we are going to pay. If we try to minimize the cost, try to avoid any waste, then we're talking about efficiency. If just we try to get the job done, we're talking about effectiveness. In first chapter, we talked about in general about as introduction to management in general. Second chapter, if you remember, we talked about the organization, how we are going to, what is the management, what are the function of management, what are the skills of management. And we define 4 functions and 4 skills. Okay, the functions again, functions, what the management doing. Skills, what are the, how you are good in. Okay. Functions, we talked about planning, okay, organizing, leading, and the last one, controlling. This is a function. For skills, we have 4 skills. Excuse me. We said that conceptual skills, to remind you what is conceptual skills, means that your ability to see the big picture. Diagnosis skills, how you can define what is the problem and what is the reason, what is the symptoms, and everything related to the problems. The third one is interpersonal skills, means how to deal with the people. The last one, technical, means that you have to know all technicalities related to your job. If you are accountant, you have to know accounting. If you are engineer, you have to know engineering, and so on and so forth. Chapter 3, actually talking about the levels of management. We divide the levels to 3 levels. The higher level or top level, middle level, and lower level. And we define the responsibility for each one. And basically, top management, concerned about planning, middle management, which is the managers, concerned about organizing and about leading, the lower concerned about controlling. That's basically the first 3 chapters. Chapter 4, we didn't cover it in class. I just ask you to read it, but however, I'm going to give you just again a general idea about chapter 4. Chapter 4 talking about the history of management. When we start to talking about management as a science, and we have textbook, we have scholars, we have research about management. It started with the Industrial Revolution in 1850. We moved from small shops, workshops, to big factory after we found that we can use machines and run these machines by steam. From industrial revolution to now, we actually went through three group of series. The first one we call it classical school. Second one, inter or relationship school, and the last one, science. Here we're talking in motivation, and this one actually from the second school. First school actually emphasize on efficiency, emphasize on scientific management, emphasize on how to produce much more with the less cost to make more money, more profit. في or relationship, okay, now we start to talking about to deal with the people as human being. If you like to your employees to work well, you have to motivate them. This chapter about motivation, and we're going to talk about different theories and the practice of motivation. We define motivation in a very simple way. It is a process by which a person's efforts are energized, directing, and sustained toward attaining goals. Okay, it's just a process, part of the management process, okay, to push or to encourage, to energize your employees, to direct them, to train them, to sustain, to continue or maintain, sustain their efforts to achieve the organization goal. Then actually how to encourage, how to energize, how to direct, how to sustain their efforts to attain or attaining organization goals. Theories about the motivation was started actually, the early series was the Hawthorne Studies. Okay, in this study actually it took about 10 years to study for experimental and 3 control groups. Okay, experiment and 3 control groups means that we have, okay, group, okay, because it's experimental group. 3 control group means that we have another 3 groups to compare between experimental and control. And this one is very sophisticated idea in psychology, but anyway, to the final, okay, they give them 5 different tests, and they change the light, they change the conditions, work condition. But anyway, they found that actually any factor we add or we take off, it doesn't affect the productivity of employees or workers. They found that the activity actually, this meant not money, not illumination, not anything, but the factor, the more important factor is the interpersonal relationship between workers. Then we start talking about how to deal with worker as human being, and to actually increase their, or giving more emphasis on human relations. The second theory and most famous theory in motivation was, we call it theory X and theory Y, written by Douglas McGregor. And Douglas McGregor, he says that, okay, the first classical school said, or their assumption, that the people are lazy, people lack of ambitions, they don't have any ambitions, they don't like, don't طموح, they don't like to achieve or accomplish, okay, dislike responsibilities, people they don't like responsibility, they don't like, مش عايزين يتحملوا مسؤولية، ما بيحبوش المسؤولية, people are self-centered, people are selfish, okay, people don't like change, الناس بطبعها ما بتحبش التغيير. deal assumption, this assumption of theory X, and this assumption of classical theory. Okay, classical theory is emphasize on production. They treating worker as a machine. They don't care about their interpersonal relationship with them, about their how they are sick or not sick. They dealing with them as a machine. He says that actually this or this assumption are not right. The true assumption is that people are energetic. الناس فيهم حيوية. Okay. people want to make contribution. عايزين يعملوا إنجاز. عايزين يحققوا حاجة معينة. Okay. people okay do have ambitions. They عندهم طموح. Okay. And last one, people will seek responsibility. Basically, if you look at these two theories, he says that theory X, the assumption الافتراضات of theory X عبارة كلها negative. Lazy, selfish, the people are lazy, selfish, they don't like responsibility, they don't like change, a lot of negative idea or negative assumption. And he suggests theory Y, this is the opposite. People are not lazy, they are energetic. People actually lack of ambitions. No, they have ambitions. They like to make contribution. People seek responsibility. People try to do a lot, but you have to understand them. You have to deal with them as human beings. The second or the most important theory in motivation, we call it Maslow. We call it Maslow, okay? Hierarchy of Maslow or hierarchy of needs. Maslow, he made this pyramid shape, and he actually make it at some levels. To energize or to motivate somebody, you have to provide him or her with the psychological needs. Psychological needs including shelter, second, including food, including good salary, okay, to live. Because it is hard to say, okay, you cannot motivate anybody, and this worker, he doesn't have enough salary, he doesn't have enough food for his family, he doesn't have a house, good house, but he calls this one psychological, means that okay, sorry, physiological. He says that these are basic needs. Okay, this should be basic needs should be offered to everybody. If we done from this level, we have to go to the next one, safety. If I have good salary and I have good house and I have good money and I have to feel safe in terms of my job. Okay, if I don't have safety, if I don't have security about my job, if I know that I'm going to work in this company for a couple months, then I'm leaving, or every day I'm coming to work and they might send me home, losing my job, then I don't have security. If I don't have security, I'm not going to have motivation. If I have this kind of safety, okay, then next step, okay, up is belonging. Not just feel secure, but also feel that I'm part of this family, part of this company. If I am in working in a company and I find that everybody doesn't like me, or the majority of the people don't like me, then this community or this company is going to be hell for me. يعني انا هبقى مكروه، مش محبوب، ماليش علاقه بالشركه دي، وبالتالي انا هفقد انتمائي للشركه دي. عشان احس بالانتماء البلونجينج okay to this company, I should be accepted by the group working in this company. If I have now good salary, I'm secure and I'm belonging to this company, then I'm going to feel confidence about myself, which you call self-esteem or confidence. I feel that I'm confident. I feel that I'm trust myself. I think that I'm good. Okay. The last one, the top, we call this one self-actualization, means that you are very unique and you actually reach a kind of experience, kind of personality, kind of background could actually recommended you to be one of the best in the working place and in business in general. Okay, now the new Maslow hierarchy also, if we like to apply Maslow hierarchy, if I general example and the organization example, if I like to have self-fulfillment that to make the job challenging, يبقى عشان احس بان انا to feel that I'm trusting myself, have confidence, then I have to feel that I'm doing something very challenging, not just easy job. The status, الوضع الاجتماعي والوضع الوظيفي, the job title is very important for me. If the big difference between accountant and accounting clerk. If I have bachelor degree in accounting and I already got a job as accountant, I'm going to feel good about myself. But if I get a job like accounting clerk, كاتب حسابات, I'm not going to feel good. Friendship means that, okay, that give me a feeling that I'm accepted in the group. That means that I'm going to go to work, okay, and most of the people over there, they are my friends. Stability, الاستقرار, security, safety, ممكن could be by offering insurance plan, by offering open contract, by offering long-term contract. All of this stuff is going to give me self security. I'm going to feel that I'm secure. The last one, shelter. Shelter means second, okay? That is going to, if I get a good salary, then I'm going to get a good house, I'm going to get a good food, I'm going to get a good life. Okay, this application of the Maslow hierarchy. Some new motivation theories in brief, and you just taking ideas about them. I'm not going to include them in the test, but anyway, goal setting theory, that if I have goals as individual, if I have goals, if the goals are clear, if they have appropriate goals for the company, that's going to give me more motivation. I'm going to be motivated to achieve it. Another theory or another نظرية اسمها reinforcement theory. Reinforcement theory, okay, say the behavior is function of its consequences. If I study hard and I get a good grade, the next time I'm going to study hard to get a good grade. Okay, based on experience. If I succeeded, okay, then I'm going to repeat my behavior twice, 3 times, 4 times. Is going to be reinforced. I'm going to reinforce means that I'm going to repeat, okay, or continue my experience since I already get succeeded. Expectancy theory, the last one and the new one, means that, okay, expectancy theory states that an individual tends to act in a certain way based on expectations. If I have expectancy, means that if I'm working in this company, I'm going to have a good prestige. If I'm working in this company, I'm going to have a good salary. If I'm working in this company, okay, then I have to have something. I have to fulfill my expectation. If the job actually failing this expectation, then I'm going to be motivated. Okay, if we like to compare, okay, series of motivation. Theory X, for example, okay, believes that people, okay, don't like to work. Maslow hierarchy, individual move up to hierarchy on 5 different levels. Then, in short, McGregor, theory X and theory Y, he says theory X, which is a classical theory, the old theory, or the people in management, they were actually believing in that the people like machine. Okay, and they pushing, they if he missed his work, he's going to get the deduction from his salary, is going to be punished, is going to be. Now he said that all of this stuff are wrong. The right thing that the people are energetic, the people are tend to have responsibility, they like to accomplish, they like to accept the change, and so on and so forth. uh, Maslow said, okay, we have hierarchy and تسلسل. We have hierarchy of needs. We start from the bottom, which is the physiologically, which is the basic needs, moving to safety, moving to belonging, moving to self-esteem, and so on and so forth. Thank you very much. Just, just,